Hey y'all, it's your girl Michaela with Budget Like a Teacher. Long time no see, but y'all already know how teacher mom life goes. Life will life. You hear me? But I'm back and I'm here with another video. So if you have never been here before, if you have never seen me before, again, my name is Michaela and this channel is called Budget Like a Teacher, where 9 to 5 millennials, especially us busy moms, learn how to manage money, save money, and ditch debt. So if you need to do any of these things, stay tuned. All right. Usually you guys are used to me coming on here, doing a budget real quick, and then getting gone. But I want to talk about something a little bit different today. As everybody probably already knows, we are going through a government shutdown and it has been going on for the past almost 30 days. So today, I really want to dig into this whole situation with food stamps that currently, as far as I know, will not be available come November 1st. So, not only is that food assistance, but that's also in the form of WIC. If you don't know what WIC is, WIC stands for Women, Infants, and Children. Now, why does it matter? Maybe if you're watching my videos, you are one of the people who will be affected by this government shutdown and the lack of food assistance that we are about to have to go through. Or maybe if it's not you, maybe it's a family member that you now will have to step up and help support. Maybe it's not you, maybe it's not a family member, but think about the children that we serve as teachers. There are going to be people that are somehow connected to us that are going to be hurt by this shutdown and the lack of food stamps for the month of November. And it's so crazy that this would happen in November, right before Thanksgiving, when usually the time that we sit down with family and think about the things that we are thankful and grateful for over a meal, this is when people are going to be feeling the detriment of this food insecurity. So I just really wanted to jump on here and talk about this thing. Now, before I get into some things that we can do to help ourselves or help each other get ready for this possibly a month with no food assistance, I want to tell y'all a story real quick. When I was pregnant, and even after I had my oldest child, who is now 13, I was a beneficiary of WIC because at the time I was still in undergrad. And of course, I didn't have this teacher job. I wasn't married to my husband yet. And because of the low amount of money that I did make on either of the jobs that I did have, I qualified for WIC. WIC helped so much, not really with the food part. Well, it helped with the food part, but the more important thing for me was the formula that I was able to get for my child. If you have had a child either recently or even in the past, and you were not able to exclusively breastfeed, then you already know how expensive formula is. So think about not only the elderly, not only the families and the children, but these infants who are depending on these services to be able to literally live from day to day. I don't know how we're going to make it out on the other side of this crisis, but it really is concerning me, especially as a teacher who works in a Title I school, works with children who receive these services, how this is going to look for them in the upcoming weeks. Although this is concerning, I really, really, really do not want us to go into a panic and start to operate out of fear if we do not have to. So, let's talk about 5 things that we can go ahead and do this week and even in the coming weeks to prepare us for not having that extra assistance. And even if this is not going to affect your household personally, honestly, these are tips that you can use when you are shopping on a budget anyway. A lot of times I get questions about how are you able to feed your family of 5 on $500 a month. Sometimes we might go over a little bit, but typically I'm able to stay within $500 a month, and I use these same exact steps. All right, let's jump right into it. So, the first thing that I want you to do is inventory. Inventory, inventory, inventory. I want you to look at every single thing you have in your refrigerator and your freezer, in your cabinets, and in your pantry. And I want you to look at what food items, what pantry items you have currently that you can use to make a meal? Because a lot of times we will go to the store with a preconceived with something in our brain already about what we want to buy when we have stuff already in the house that we can throw together to make a meal. Will your meal be a little bit mismatched sometimes? Yes. But will you still be fed? Also, yes. So, doing inventory of the food that you already, I actually have a template that I use every single week to outline these things. I have my menu item, my groceries that I already have, and my groceries that I know I'm going to need from the store. And that is what I use basically as my grocery list. If you want to take advantage of it, I am going to link it in the description below. And we can even get into some super cheap knives. I ain't gonna promise you they're gonna be nutritious, but they're gonna be super cheap recipes, my go-tos when I might be a little bit low on money that I can always go back to and that my kids will eat easily. So I'll link all of that down in the description. Next step, I want you to build a meal plan for the next couple of weeks. And when I say that, I want you to come up with a menu item for every meal that you will eat at home. So, for instance, if you or your children eat breakfast at home, go ahead and outline what you guys are going to be eating for breakfast. If you eat lunch at home or if you pack lunch for your kids, go ahead and decide what lunch is going to look like. If you eat dinner at home, go ahead and decide what is going to be for dinner. And basically, make yourself a menu of everything that you're going to eat for the next couple of weeks. Now, this might seem hard at first, but I promise it won't be. So, what you're going to do is you're going to look at those items that you have already inventoried, you already have, and you're going to build out a meal based on that. Then, when you get ready to do your menu items, you're going to list everything that you already have and then list everything that you will need from the store. This will eventually become your grocery list. So I have a template that I use every single week to do this exact process. And when I say just doing these two steps have saved me so much money and honestly so much time and so much energy, I mean it. I will link that template down below so you can go ahead and grab it and start your process if you are somebody who either is about to be affected by this government shutdown in a way of food assistance, or if you're just somebody who want to do a little bit better with your grocery budget, I think this is something that you will really be able to take advantage of. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to check in with your money. Check in with your money. Look at whatever you have in your checking account, whatever you have in your savings account, and decide what you are able to do in terms of groceries. Because now we will not be getting that food assistance. So we have to supplement somewhere. So maybe you had some money to the side that you were saving for something else, just anything else, that you might be able to use some of that to get some groceries for the next week or the next 2 weeks. You might also have something that you were planning on getting in the next week or two that you maybe can cut out. So maybe you were thinking about taking yourself on a trip to the nail salon. Okay, maybe we ain't gonna be able to go to the nail salon this week. We're gonna have to use nail salon money to get groceries because now we don't have grocery money. And sometimes that's okay. Count this as an emergency. So, with saying that, if you even have emergency funds that you have been saving and putting away for a rainy day, the rainy day is here. It's raining. So, that money you can go ahead and use to make sure that you and your family have food to eat during this government shutdown. Now, once you have checked in with your money and you find that there is no money to be found, you don't check with the money in there. What I want you to do is think of some other options. Are there some services or some bills or something that you can call and say, hey, can I push my payment date back a little bit? Can I put this payment on the back end of my loan? So go ahead and start calling. Even ask me if I'm being affected by the shutdown. So maybe click that link, see where it's going to take you, see what types of questions it's going to ask you, and see what types of services are of. So once you do that, come up with a solid dollar amount of how much money you are able. Once you come up with that solid dollar amount, you have two things that you are able to do. We're gonna go two different routes. Either you able to do A or you able to do B. And you are going to grocery shop for those items on that list that you created earlier. Stick to the list. You have to stick to the list. Right now, we cannot afford to not stick to the list. So, whatever you said that you needed for those meals for the next couple of weeks, go ahead and get those things and those things only. This isn't the time to impulse shop. This isn't the time to splurge on things that we really don't need. This is where we need to be intentional and we need to be strategic. Also, I want you to think about those staple items that can last you a very long time. Your rice, your pasta, your potatoes, things like that, that you can really make stretch, or even your meals that you can really make stretch. Let me tell you something, one pot of spaghetti will do my family some justice for a good 3 days. And if we need to eat spaghetti for 3 days to make it last during a week where it might be a little rough, then that's what we're going to do. When you shop, make sure that you are shopping only for your menu items. Now, if you find that you have searched high and low for this money and ain't no money to be found, what you might need to do is reach out to some people. This might mean going to those local food banks because you already know they're jumping right now. Like, people are wanting to do their part in helping and building community. So people are reaching out to food banks and figuring out how they can supply those food banks with food. Reach out to your local churches, whatever church you are a part of, or maybe you're not a part of a church, but there's a church near you. Reach out to churches. A lot of times they do missions that surround food insecurity or sometimes even homelessness. So if at this time you need to reach out to a church, do that. If you have a active United Way chapter in your area, reach out to United Way. Another tidbit, every single year, our school district does a fundraiser for United Way down in the coastal empire in Georgia, where I live. So every single year, my school makes it a big thing to donate to United Way because it goes right to the families that live in our area, especially if there's some kind of disaster that you really can't plan for. If that's happened, the United Way does kick in and does help. So I would say reach out to United Way, see what they're offering for families as well. I personally donate to them out of every single one of my checks. See if there is something that they can do for your family. You might have to reach out to another family member. I know sometimes it's hard to ask for help. It's hard for me to ask for help. I'll be the first to admit that it's hard for me to ask for help. But if it came between me and my pride in doing what I need to do to make sure that my family is fed, then I will reach out to my family. I do understand that some of us do not have family. So in that case, you wouldn't be able to use that option, but see if there's anybody else, friends, somebody in the community that is willing to help you out. Even if it's not them bringing you groceries, even if they're just like, oh, well, this is what I'm cooking for tonight. Do y'all want to come over? Take advantage of those opportunities just to get y'all through this rough time. Also, this is the time for you to remember that sometimes you might have to stray away from the things that you are used to doing. So if you weren't buying in bulk before, this is the time that you need to buy in bulk. For instance, for my family of five, I always get, say if I'm getting chicken legs or chicken thighs or something like that, I always get a really big pack. And then once I get home, I go ahead and I portion it all out. I put it into Ziploc bags and I only unfreeze whatever I'm going to use for a meal. So a lot of times I can get like a family pack of meat and I can split that up and that can be 3 different meals for us. So if that's something that you need to do that you weren't doing before, then I think that that will be very helpful. Also, you might be a person who maybe likes fresh vegetables, but we know that fresh vegetables are more expensive than those alternatives. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go all the way left and go to canned vegetables if that's not your thing, but you can choose the frozen option. Now, me personally, I like frozen vegetables. I feel like fresh vegetables always just go so bad at my house unless it's like an onion and bell pepper, cucumbers, things like that we use pretty regularly. So those don't go bad. But some vegetables, child, they gonna go bad in my house. So I go ahead and get the frozen option. The only thing I don't get frozen, to be honest, is green beans. I don't like fresh green beans. I don't like frozen green beans. Fight me about it. Don't like them. Give me the ones in the can. Give me the ones in the can. Everything else, I pretty much will do frozen. If I know I'm going to use it within that week, I do get fresh vegetables. Fruits, we just like fresh fruit in here. That's pretty much what we do. We don't really do the canned fruit or the fruit cups. But if you want to keep fruit around in your diet, and this is the only way that you're able to do it, just until you get your money back up, then do what you got to do. Okay. Or maybe instead of buying a whole variety of fruits, pick maybe just some apples for this week, and then we can keep it moving. Or you want to do just the little cuties for the kids and then keep it moving and just until we're in a better spot. Nobody's saying that this is how you have to eat forever, but when you're in a tight spot, it's some things that we have to improvise on, and that's okay too. Now, let's start thinking about the future. Let's switch gears a little bit. So, if this government shutdown didn't teach us anything else, it really taught us that we need to start thinking about the future. So, when you get on your feet, when you're back at a place where you're good with whatever you've been going through, whether that be this food assistance at this time, or maybe you're experiencing joblessness. That was something that was going on a lot even before the government shut down. Once you get on your feet, make it your business that one of the first things that you're going to do with your money is build an emergency fund. Build your rainy day fund, because times like this, once you're diligent and you save that money, you have this money just sitting here for times such as these. And I know you're thinking, girl, with all the bills and everything that I already have, ain't no more money left over to save for the rainy day fund. And guess what? I understand that too. I understand that too. But that's a video for another day, because that means that either we need to look at our budget and adjust some things, or we need to make a plan to be able to make some more money. But just keep in mind that for times like this, we need to start thinking about a rainy day fund. Next steps, y'all. So, what do I do now? Like I said, there is going to be a template in the description box that you can use to start planning what the first couple of weeks of November are going to look like. This might take you a couple of planning sessions, but plan to set aside 15-20 minutes on a day, on a couple of days, to see what this is going to look like and to make your plan. The key thing here is going to be to make a plan. This is a topic that is very heavily on the minds of people who is going to be affected by, or if you're close to people that's going to be affected by it. So really take the time to come up with a plan, because that plan is going to give you a little bit of peace and a little bit of solace, because you'll feel like you have some control over what's going on. And even when things feel out of control, just hold on, stick to your plan, stick to your guns, because as people, we know how to survive, and we will get through this, just like we have gotten through very bad things in the past before. So I saw this quote and I can't even remember what it said word for word, but the gist of it was, every time you felt like something hard was going on, something unbearable was going on, like, Lord, I don't think I'm gonna get through this, you have always gotten through it, because you're here today. You're watching this video. So of course you've gotten through it. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But make your plan, stick to your plan. Now, if you have any other ideas, any other tips, any other things that people can do during this time of need, or just in general, please drop them down in the comments so we can read, we can commune over this thing that we are going to see our way out of. So drop down in the comments, what do you do to save money on groceries in general? And so let's go back over everything that we've talked about. One, you're going to inventory everything that you already have. Two, you are going to build out that meal plan. What are we going to eat for the next week or so? Three, check in with your money. Do I have some money somewhere that I can use? If I don't, I need to call somebody. I need to postpone a bill. I need to shift some things around. Go ahead and go grocery shopping with whatever money you have been able to scrape up, and make sure that you stick to the budget. Five, reach out to the community, reach out to your family, reach out to your friends, see what kind of assistance that you are able to get. And don't forget that when you are able to get up on your feet, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, start saving for your rainy day fund. Thanks for hanging out with me and tuning into this video and listening to me talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. If you want to keep sitting down, having conversations, talking about stuff like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with somebody who you think it would be a resource for in this time. And as always, keep it classy, y'all. Bye.